food. And then, like, I'll be honest, I'm a competitive eater. It's tough for me to watch videos of people 9 minutes of just straight eating. It's like almost like it's like serial killerish, right? Like, oh my God, I got to look away.
Right.
So it's like part of that is just what I like. Like, I don't want to see all this. And so I host the Pink Box Donuts grand opening eating contest. And I like worked with them on the rules so that it's competitive eating.
What's up, Vegas? How you guys eating out there? Let me know where you've been eating. Also, you guys got some spots you need to let me know about. Just feel free, shoot me an email. Visit vegasplaces@gmail.com. All fans can send any email there. Let us know any spots that you would recommend. And also business owners, you guys can shoot an email too. Now, there's a lot of foodies in Vegas with great content, but who's really eating all of their food? I love when a creator can create content with a good food location, entertain us with food, and a nice voiceover. My guess, he provides that and some. Plus, he out-eats everyone in Vegas. Let's introduce my guest, Heavy D, content creator and pro competitive eater. Heavy D, man, I appreciate you joining me today.
Thanks for having me, man. You made me hungry today when I saw your Waffle Brothers post. I mean, Bullethead's just killing it, and I haven't gone to that spot yet, so I'm jealous. That looks really good.
That's cool. I was about to ask you, too, have you been there? Because you killed I was looking at one of your content when you was doing the pancakes, though. I've never seen a pancake that thick. It looked like a big hamburger.
Are you talking about the one in Denver?
Yes.
So that whole day is crazy from start to finish. So I started with I found a ticket on Southwest, from Frontier for $37 round trip to go to Denver. And they had never had anyone beat that. And the pictures online were like an internet date gone wrong. Like, they're super thin, and I'm like, oh my God, this pancake's super easy. And then I show up, I fly into Denver, my family picks me up. We go to the restaurant, and they're like, oh, we had to save pancake batter to make sure we had enough. And I'm like, man, I didn't think that those pancakes were that big. We had to save. I kid you not. They're like, oh, we had to make one pancake of yours while we're cooking the rest of them. And these things came out like hubcaps. And so pancakes are the toughest food to do for challenges. Because you get all that dough. They go inside like they're like bricks. You eat water. They're always steaming hot, too. Like, no matter how much you let it cool down, those things are hot. So I expected arrogantly to be done in, 15 minutes. And it took me, 29 minutes to finish. And I only had a 30-minute time limit. And I'm like, I'm not paying $75 for pancakes. And so I just got thoroughly rocked. But I beat it. I was, the only person to ever beat it. They gave me a pancake-scented necklace. And then my best friend, she's a female bodybuilder. She's like, we're going to go to the gym. So we start doing squats, and I'm just dying with all these pancakes, and I can't stop sweating. And then I fly back to Vegas that night, and people are just staring at me on the plane, man, what is this guy doing over here? He's not looking good, man. He's not looking good.
Oh man, hey, Heavy D, I have to be honest with you. When I first saw you, I saw you in way before we've got acquainted and on this show. And I saw your content. I thought you was just a regular foodie. Now, when we met and we said we was get in, I started researching you, and it let me know that how people can probably look at me and think it's something else. But I instantly became a fan when I went on your YouTube. Your YouTube gives me an offering of you that I don't really get, going on TikTok and Instagram. That's why I tell people to utilize each platform. So when I was on your TikTok, I just it was your Instagram actually. I went on there and I clicked on to your YouTube link. And then that one video hooked me to where I clicked on you. I subscribed, of course. And then I started looking at more videos. I like how you took the content of what you do and you made it you. And also you put so much in one and it's just not average, and you don't bore. It's not boring. And I wanted to give you your roses on that before we started, man. Good job.
Oh, I appreciate that. And that's one thing that I find very tough with where I feel platforms are going. It's super short, right? and you go to Waffle Brothers and you and I have like an hour-long meal, chop it up, have great conversation, but how do we condense that into 8 seconds to make sure someone watched all 8 seconds and we didn't bore them and we hit the, and it's like, so like YouTube, I stopped like almost caring, and I was like, let's just have fun and call it what it is. Because sometimes it's like, you've gone places, it's been terrible. Be honest, tell me it's terrible, man. Like, I don't want to go to a place. That's one thing I really admire about Keith Lee. He will tell you good, bad, indifferent. This is me. This ain't you. This is me. But that was terrible. This was golden. I'm like, perfect, man. That's what I like to hear. Like, keep it real.
Right. That's right. I love it. I love it, man. Now, quick advice, Heavy. So quick advice to someone with talent and ideas, but are afraid to share on camera to the world what they have to offer.
Just keep filming. Like, I've been doing YouTube and everything 3-4 years now. And it's you know, obviously it's not huge. It's not my main gig. It's more of like a passion project. But like, it took me a while just filming and editing before I put stuff out. And then I was like, oh, this is finally something I'm okay with putting out there. And then now I look back and I'm like, wow, I really put that online. Like, wow, that's not what I want. So it's kind of that growth and evolution. You just kind of have to go when you're comfortable. But it's that, what's that entrepreneur phrase where it's like, oh, the depth of planning or whatever, running the spreadsheets. You know what I'm talking about? Where you just keep going in the analytics and it's never the right time. And it's like, so it's like, you know, it's kind of like you just got to go.
Oh yeah, you're going there. I tell you again, I can't be honest. The YouTube, automatically was a fan from your YouTube video, and this is telling you from the longer length ones because you had me hooked. Now you know because I want to go back and see some other ones that I already saw in there. You know, and I was like, yeah, I got to go in there. But I like how you did it. It makes it feel like a show, your show. And makes you want to know what you're going to do next. Like, well, I wonder what he's going to be up to next. And you gives that feeling.
A lot of the YouTube videos I see, and especially in my genre of food, it's like, here's the food. And then, like, I'll be honest, I'm a competitive eater. It's tough for me to watch videos of people 9 minutes of just straight eating. It's like almost like it's like serial killerish, right? Like, oh my God, I got to look away.
Right.
So it's like, part of that is just what I like. Like, I don't want to see all this. And so I host the Pink Box Donuts grand opening eating contest. And I, like, worked with them on the rules so that it's competitive eating, but it's not the grossness. Because their donuts are beautiful. And if you're standing in line, you don't want to see someone dunking the donuts and spitting them out and all that kind of stuff. Like, make it look pretty for them. So it's like, that's partly where it's the show is, like, to me, that's better marketing. Because you might not go there because you don't like me, you don't like what I'm putting out. But it's like, wow, that food looks really good. I'll skip over this portly gentleman eating it, and then I'll check that place out. Like, you know, that kind of stuff.
Right. I agree with you. Now, some of the videos I want to point out, I want you to share with the audience so they can go to your YouTube and check it out. The first one I definitely caught me was the one that got me to your YouTube was the Brewdog Endless Wings. I never had no clue about that. You educated me on that while you did that contest. Now, those wings were huge. Like, I had to really look at the film, and when you was putting your hands in it, I was like, they're almost the size of his hand.
Yeah, they were. So that was like a pleasant surprise because I always laugh when you go to Endless Wings, and it's like the size of your pinky, right? And you're like, this isn't a wing. This is a wingette. Don't fool me. I've been around the block. And, like, so I went in there because they were like, hey, we want you to come in, like, check us out, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, why don't we shoot this video? You have Endless Wings. This is, like, you know, perfect. And, like, why don't we do that? And the staff is always like, oh, our wings are huge. 9 times out of 10, everyone tells me their wings are huge. And I get them. I'm like, this isn't my definition of huge, I'll be honest. These ones were, like, breaded, like, light breading, and then fried. So, yeah, they were huge. And, man, it was like they showed up, and I'm like, oh, man, this is a lot. But they come out, and it's almost like fajitas at a Mexican restaurant. Everyone's like, what the hell is that? Like, look at this big tray of wings. What is going on? Everyone looks over here. Like, 5 tables around us ordered wings. Because they're like, man, those wings look bomb. And I'm like, yeah, man, but, yeah, that's what it's all about. Trying to help the business, right? Like,
Yes. Yeah, you did a great job on that one. Now, let me know about that 55-pound pizza in Cali. How did that
Well,
go?
we're going back. I'll tell you that. So team
Okay.
challenges are tough because not everyone can eat. It was a 55-pound pizza. We watched them weigh it. I've never seen this before. They have like an extender that goes on the oven because it doesn't fit in their oven. And I'm like,
Damn.
holy shit! Like, how do you like, So they
Wow.
rotate it. They keep spinning it. But like one of our partners, because I mean, it's tough in my own personal life to get 8 of my friends together, let alone 8 eaters from all different parts of the cities, like, because they're all based in California. We tried to get a guy in Portland, but Portland got the snowstorm of a century, so he couldn't come. And so one guy only ate like 4 pounds. And like the rest of us are trying to pull the weight. It just gets tough. So, I mean, we had about 2 pounds left of 55 pounds. And it sounds like, it's like, oh, well, you ate 53 pounds. It's like, yeah, but we didn't win, so it still sucks, right? Like, as a
Right.
Green Bay
Right.
Packers fan, we made it to the NFC Championship 6 times. That's great. We didn't go to the Super Bowl except for once, right? Like, awesome. Fantastic.
I get you. I get you. Now, I wonder, do they stick you with all that food if you don't, pass it? You get stuck with all the food that's left?
I mean, if you want it, you can take leftovers, but I'll tell you, by the end of those challenges, you're
You
like,
don't want
wasted.
nothing.
I want nothing to do, right? Like, I just smell marinara, and I'm like, like, but it's always funny. I always manage to get a free dessert or a free beer because some person will walk by and be like, "Oh, you want dessert after you finish?" Actually, yeah, I've just ingested enough sodium to kill a gorilla, so yeah, I'd love some ice cream or a beer just to chill out. That'd be great. So yeah, it's fun. Like it's something different, right? And it's funny because it's a gimmick, and so many brands don't want a gimmick. Yet right now, I see these huge trends of like, I'm going to order pickles until they cut me off and make this giant avant-garde
Right.
pickle burger and all this stuff. So it's like, well, it's so gimmicky, yet everyone's doing that trend. Like, oh, we have the biggest burrito here. We have this. Who can finish that? And it's like, well, if it's so gimmicky, why are y'all jumping on the train then? Like, I don't like the
Right.
bandwagon jumpers. Get in or get out.
Right. No, so far I think I like how you're doing the content. No one's put a spin on it the way you're putting a spin on it. But then not only that, you're consistent. The key is consistent, no matter what it is or who's doing it. Consistency gets you to success. I did watch your Pop-Tart. That was interesting. You had me stuck on your shorts also, which you beat the record. What was that? 24, 25 seconds. I think I counted. You
24
did beat
seconds.
Yeah, 24. I thought so. So you beat that record. Do
I
you
mean,
track?
you can go faster. I mean, I didn't submit it. Like, so I tried to do a Guinness World Record once.
Right. Okay.
And,
Okay.
and so they're like, if you want the judge, and this was years ago, like pre shutdowns and stuff. But it was like, if you want Guinness World Records, you had to pay for the judge and put them up. Like it was a big deal. Like I don't
Wow.
even put up my friends when they come to Vegas. I'm like, you can stay at hotels. I'm not paying for some dude to come out here and then all that. So
Right.
a lot
Right.
of a lot of times it seemed like, and it was real weird stuff, but super specific. I was gonna go for French toast because I'm like, I can eat French toast. That sounds good. But it was like the bread must be 3/4 inch and it must be griddled for minimum 2 minutes and 2 minutes. It must be in a public place. You must have 2 non-family witnesses and stuff. And I'm like, you want
Wow.
blood? Like, what's the next thing here, man?
Right. The wind should be blowing northwest at 2 miles per hour. Right.
100%. And some of the records, like I mean, it's so funny to me because I'm just a weird person, I guess. But like some of these records, like we could find you a record that just hasn't been done, and you could do it. Like the most, whatever, smashed Reese's cups to be eaten in 2 minutes, and you could hold that record. So it's just,
Right.
it's kind of like those are the videos though that seem to be better. People want to see impossible stuff and stuff
You're
that's
right.
like, oh, you either got to be super fast or super big. Like and
Sure.
it's crazy because so many people lie about weights nowadays, which sounds crazy, but they'll be like, oh, it's 10 pounds. It's like, well, it's 10 pounds because you weighed it with the plate. Or
True.
it's like people will tell you,
True.
oh, this is like, I've seen it with like steaks and seafood. Like, this is a $2,000 steak. And I'm like, it's not $2,000, right?
Right.
Like,
Right. Yeah.
you can't get those clicks, right? Like clickbaiters. So,
Yeah, you're right on that one. Now, the 35 minutes for the 9-pound quesadilla. Did you?
That is by far one of the toughest challenges because I've
Okay.
talked to multiple eaters. We had people
Okay.
fly into Vegas from Philadelphia, Canada, Detroit, Mississippi, and then myself, and then that's who's. Oh, and one guy from Portland flew in, but he failed. We had that many people fly in because you put $1,000 up. Oh, and Tampa, Florida. Excuse me. So we had
Okay.
all these states. People flew in to beat that quesadilla, and we're talking some of the best eaters in the world. Like
Right. Right.
they run laps around meat. Like one guy can eat 21 pounds of food. It's crazy.
Wow.
He'll go to a buffet and just. I mean, it's like wow. And it took him 34 minutes to eat that because there's so many layers to that quesadilla. And I'm like, how did you guys come up with this? This thing is a monster. I mean, it's very Vegas, right? Like Vegas
True.
is all about, which I think food challenges in Vegas are a great match because it's just something over the top, kind of a bad decision. You're probably going to regret it in the morning, and it's a little too expensive. And I mean, because that quesadilla is like $70 if you fail.
Man, that's a huge quesadilla. It is pretty huge. Now, one thing I did respect you is when you mentioned that you used to be 315 pounds when you was doing the Pop-Tart. I was like, hold on, this can't be right. And not only that, I was thinking this can't be right, but then what is he doing right now? I definitely respect you. My hat goes off. So tell me about that transformation right there that started you, and then how did you get into doing this coming from that?
So, I mean, I've always had a gift of the fat arts, if you would. I mean, you don't get to like 315 unless you like food, right? Like, I just had zero portion control. Like, my mom would cook dinner as a kid. Mom and dad would take 2 tacos. I'd make as many as left. No leftovers in our household, right?
Right.
I got to high school, Taco Bell 2 times a day. I'd go for lunch. I'd go to football practice, have dinner with my family, and then, like, go hang out with my friends and get, like I did fourth meal before it was fashionable. And it's like, I look back on it, I was drinking like 3-4 Baja Blasts in the 32-ounce cup. Like, it's like, what, 4,000 calories just in pure sugar right there.
Right.
So then I go to college. I discover beer and bad decisions. And 2 in the morning, like pizzas and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just like partying, having a great time. I'm a very social person, whatever. And I go to the doctor, and he's like, man, your fasting glucose is 99. I start treating at 100. Your cholesterol is like 210. I start having the conversation at like 180 to 200 that we need to start like dieting. And then it was like, what's the other number? Cholesterol, fasting glucose. What's the other one? There's like the other key marker or whatever. But it was like all my numbers. I was pre-diabetic. Oh, my blood pressure. My blood pressure was like 190 over 100. He's like, you're 22 years old. You're not going to probably see 40 at the rate you're going. And I'm like, that's okay, man. I'm here for a good time, not for a long time. And he's like, your family doesn't like that thinking, right? Like, he's like, people want you to be around. And so it was kind of like, all right, maybe I could drop a few pounds. And then I just did all the worst dieting mistakes that are like all the rules they tell you don't do. I did all of those. Like, don't make drastic changes. Don't do hours of cardio. So I started fasting about 5 years ago, believe it or not. So my normal diet is like, I don't eat. I go out, I have coffees. If I do an event, like Bullethead and I went to Chino's a few weeks ago. It's the only time I ate. I didn't eat anything before it. Ate Chino's, didn't eat till the next day, like 30 hours later.
That's right.
So I keep my big portions and just do that. But at one time I had lost 100 pounds, and it was so much work to keep it off that I was just a miserable person to be around. I couldn't drink because I was this. I overanalyzed everything that was going in my mouth. And then I've gained back probably 30 pounds through the pandemic and whatnot. But it's been like able to live more, right? Like, I can be more social. I can have a couple of beers. I'm not beating myself up mentally like it used to be. But it's funny. It's because, like, I do all this hot dog stuff, and I've got the compartmentalization of, like, this is food challenge day. This is not a food challenge day. So people go, what's a cheat meal? It's like, the cheat meals are like when it's not a scheduled, we're doing this day, and I'm just like eating a bag of chips in the pantry, making sure no one's seeing me, shoveling them in and drinking a beer like, God, this is like work sucked today. And then the crazy part is you actually eat better usually when you're thinner. Your stomach can stretch more. That's why it's
Right,
like you see
right,
this.
right.
So I started gearing up for the 4th of July on ESPN again. I started dropping weight. I started increasing my cardio to try to drop weight to come into competitive eating season, which sounds so like backwards that you need to lose weight to eat more food, but that's kind of the name of the game.
Oh yeah. So what do you have coming up? Any new venues you have coming up or spots you want to check out?
Yeah, so like next Saturday, I'm going to Sticky's down at Town Square Mall down there by the airport. They have a victory lap challenge. And I think it's 45 minutes, giant stack burger, and a bunch of fries. So
all right,
that'd
I
be a
can't.
fun one.
And I already know you'll have content on that one. Already know.
We're doing the rematch for pizza. Like I hate losing, and we're going back. We're trying to find a new 7th to go back and get that pizza. I mean, all the filming you saw of that pizza still doesn't do it justice. Like that thing was huge.
I bet.
Like,
I bet.
They deliver it though. That's the funny part.
Wow,
They
that's
deliver
crazy.
that, and they got a special car. It goes on top of like a smart car too. It's not like a big SUV. It's like a little smart car with that pizza on top. And they
Wow.
do $75 delivery charge, which I was like shocked that people would pay $75 for delivery
To
charge.
get that delivered, right? Yeah, you'd be
That
surprised.
pizza's $400.
Man.
That was the best part. So we eat all this pizza. We fail. We're miserable and pissed off. And then they bring us the bill, and our buddy who organized it was like, oh yeah, it was like $250 the last time I did this a couple years ago. They're like, oh, it's $416, and he's like, oh, sorry guys. So it went from like, oh, it's $30 to oh, it's $60. Like, oh, great. Like, that's a fun. This day just got real fast.
Oh man, that's great. But yeah, make sure on that content, and then also you have my direct now. We definitely have to collaborate on one of the spots, our new spots. So we'll have to collaborate on something. We'll have that coming up. I didn't, and that was just about when I saw your content, you did it. I was like, you know what? I definitely got to go to Carolina support. That would be a good place where we can, collaborate with her.
Yeah,
that'd be good.
It was awesome. Like,
okay.
It was like I ate everything. Like I tried almost one of everything on the menu, and I was like, man, it was like I could have done it all over again. Like it was like a Disneyland ride. Like get off, I could have gotten right back on. Like she's like, oh, you want birria and nachos? Yes. The answer is always yes. You know. And she's like, oh, don't lie to me. Tell me if it's bad. And I'm like, no, I was licking my fingers. This stuff is good. Like just pour the sauce over my fingers.
Oh man, everything I've seen from her and on her contents look good. So I can't wait. So that'll be good if we can go. That'll be good.
Yeah.
Let my audience know your social media handles that are listening, social media handles where they can contact and also look at all your videos.
Yeah, so on Instagram and TikTok, it's Vegas Heavy D, because that's how I got my nickname, Heavy D, was the late, great rapper. Because everyone's like, yo, it's Heavy D over here, because I was like, I always thought of myself as like a ladies' man, even when I was, fat, doing all the dumb stuff. So they always called me the overweight lover, Heavy D. That's where the nickname originates from.
That's right.
So, but then apparently there's some guy, because I'll get random YouTube comments from, there's like a diesel mechanic. I don't know. I'm not a big car guy, but there's like a Heavy D Sparks or something. He's got millions, and they'll be like, "You're not Heavy D," and I'm like, "No, really, man. I didn't realize." Okay. That's my favorite part of the internet by far. It's just keyboard warriors and people's comments sometimes.
Oh
right?
man.
Like you're editing, we're doing like a podcast. Sometimes there's technical difficulties. I chalk it up to life happens, right? Hey, there was a really loud noise between minute 1 and minute 2. Sorry, man, I messed up. I didn't cut the volume. Like, can we just overlook it? Like, did you enjoy the other 8 minutes, right?
Right. Right. Like that's
People are characters nowadays.
Yes, man. They are. It comes with the territory. I've learned that also, and I learned how to answer them with positivity. But I see it just comes with the territory.
I mean, what was I going to tell you? Oh, it's like if you post a food challenge about me eating or something, it's going to be one of 3 comments, guaranteed. Like I will bet I could do that because people just think, it's easy to eat a lot of food. Then you get it in front of you and you're like, oh, okay, this isn't as easy.
No, it's not. Yeah.
And then the other one is that's disgusting, and they're starving people. It's like, hey, our hot dogs, when we do that, they donate 100,000 hot dogs to the food bank. Like, right. I'm always trying to donate money to like No Kid Hungry when I do my charity stuff. Like, I've been trying to find a Vegas business that will like partner with me to like either one, do brand advertising and all that stuff when I go out, like, hey, this is my official partner, whatever. But at the same time, like let's use Carolinas just as an example. We're talking about it. Hey, He's gonna eat a taco, and for every taco he eats, we're looking for donations to 3 Square. So like if he eats this, like, what's your pledge? Almost like a pledge-a-thon for like tacos, something along those lines to like get charity involved. Because I feel like that's a huge thing to me that gets missed, and I'm very critical of like the eaters that I'm friends with bigger platforms. It's like, you've retired, you don't work a real job anymore, this is your job, but you do nothing to give back, and yet like you make exorbitant amounts of money. Like, don't forget where you came from. That's always a big thing for me, is like helping your community out, which is why I love your show. It's like, let's visit Vegas, like let's do that. So
appreciate it. Yes.
Vegas Heavy D, that's my socials. That's kind of my soapbox and rant, but it's all about the journey for me. That's kind of how I am, right? So I'll leave you with this kind of story. I'm at Pink Box on this Saturday. They just opened a new donut shop on Craig Road and like El Camino Norte, MLK.
Right.
The outside is awesome. It sprinkles at night. Like, they have sprinkles on the building, and it like shimmers. I'm like, that is dope. Like, that was really cool. So they do a kids event, then they do an adults event. And after the adults event, I'm walking out, and one of the contestants was like, hey, man, good job today. I said, hey, man, you did a great job. He ate like 2 of the 5 donuts. And I'm like looking at his car, and he's got this red truck, and it's like signatures all over. And I'm like, is this guy like a Raiders super fan? And this is like their car? No. It was like, and this is where I say, like, it's all about the journey for me and all this kind of stuff. The dude lost his daughter 7 years ago to suicide. And so he has victims' names like signed all over his truck with suicide help hotlines on there. And if you need help, like, let's say you can't find anyone, no one's answering you, you call this dude, and he might be a good guest to get on the show. Because, I mean, it was like just a mind blow, right? I'm like,
wow.
If I lost my daughter, I mean, I don't have kids, but if I couldn't imagine losing a kid. And he tried to channel it into positivity. So it's like, he's gone to Kansas to be with people. He'll call them all day and talk to them and make sure they're loved. All this stuff. Like, just like, there's so many people in Vegas doing so many fantastic things. So that's why I really appreciate your show, where you like showcase everything. It's not just, hey, here is a mile full of $1 billion hotels, which are great, don't get me wrong. And here's another mile of beautiful properties that are $1 million hotels. It's like, we're also a city and a community within that,
Right,
people,
you're right.
Sometimes that gets lost, right? Like, oh, you guys live on the Strip. That's right. MGM's my address. One Tropicana.
You're right. You couldn't have said it no better, man. I like the way you think. I love that idea, too, about the charity. That is a good idea. It's something we can you can actually do, man. Just draw out and get that done. So that is all possible, especially if you're visioning and you're thinking it's all possible.
It's tougher than you think.
True.
I talked to a couple of food trucks, and it becomes like a liability piece, because I just wanted to buy meals for homeless one time. And a lot of food trucks didn't want to do that because they're like, well, the homeless will rush us and like potential litigation and stuff. And I was like, man, it's just crazy to try to like organize things today. You know what I mean?
True. That is true. That's true. Man, it's like you have to have a side of security or something along with everything you do nowadays, though, which is true, which costs another expense also. So you have to have a budget for that. So, yeah.
100%,
Yep.
Now, that Visit Vegas Cash App, right?
Correct. Now, I want to, before you get out of here, I know we're going to see what you like, this or that, Heavy D, and then we're going to see how very, very Vegas you are, baby. Now, for the first this or that.
I'm nervous for that one. I'm nervous.
For the first one, though, for this or that. Now, I know you don't like pancakes and pho. I saw your video. Now,
Yep.
when you consume the most on content, is it easier for pizza or burgers?
For me personally, it's pizza.
Pizza. Got so okay. I thought so. Every
Pizza
time you
always goes down easier.
and I can vision them bringing in that long piece on your video. I keep replanning in my head how big it was, how like so many different sides. Man,
you know what it really comes down to? It's how they cook it, and it's so tough to cook those giant burgers that sometimes they're overdone, and that just is not fun, right? Like I'm a medium rare guy, so I love that big juicy burger, and it's like this is dry, and that's also what can be a competitive advantage for the restaurant. You give me dry beef, I can't eat that as fast. You might win now. Like it's a thing. So, no, definitely pizza. And pineapple on pizza is a real thing, I'll tell you that.
Okay, all right. So we're going to go fast food on this one. When it's time for McDonald's fries, everyone loves McDonald's fries. Do you eat them plain or with ketchup?
Plain.
Yes.
I'm an anti-ketchup guy. I'll be honest with you. I am so in my journey at YouTube, as you can see, I have no problem with long-winded answers. I'll be great for politics one day, right? Like I get a question or whatever. But I used to be like, I hate ketchup. There's so many better condiments. Like one place I did a challenge. It was like that was the subscriber joke is I put ketchup on it because I'm just like ketchup's a trash condiment to me. Like I'm not 6 years old. Give me like ranch, buffalo sauce, hot sauce. Like I've grown up. Like, take the training wheels off. Give me a hot sauce, right? Like,
that's right. Oh man, I love your spirit. So the last one, I know, for mayo when we make sandwiches, are you mayo or a Miracle Whip guy?
Mayo all day.
Mayo, okay, mayos.
Best food's on there too. Like Hellman's.
Best food. There you go. Yes, has to be the real deal. Yes.
I was born in Seattle. And we moved to Wisconsin when I was like 10 years old. And so like best foods and Hellman's change as you go across like the Mississippi or whatever and go in the Midwest. Well, so does like Edie's and Haagen-Dazs. So I get to like Wisconsin, I'm like, where's my ice cream? Like this is it looks like Haagen-Dazs, but what's this Edie's stuff? Like this, you're trying to like mess with me here, man. Like
yeah, it changes up as you go across. It does. Now we're gonna see how very, very Vegas you are, Heavy D. We took it light on you. We give you 3 options though, so you do have 3 options to pick from. So name the first casino to include a sports book. So this would be the first casino to include a sports book. Would it be the Lady Luck, the Stardust, or the Silver Nugget?
I say it's a Silver Nugget.
Silver Nugget? No. Nah, it's going to be the Stardust. So I knew the Silver Nugget was going to throw 2. I was like, yes. So it was actually the Stardust. Looking it up, the Stardust, which sits as the Resorts World right now, was the first one to open the sports book. And it's funny, too. They also said the Stardust back in the 60s and the 70s, they were the first also to open an RV park, which proved to be popular. You know, they didn't know until they opened it up. You're right. So, you know, and now to this day, you know, they're very popular now, you know, so, right. So, like, that's crazy. And then
Resorts World even have a sports book? I'm like trying to think. I went to Resorts World like 3 weeks ago for Katy Perry, and I'm like, do they even have a sports book anymore?
I don't know. I don't even know, and they don't promote if they do their sports book. They have they don't
like
promote.
AGM and Caesar, they're like, we do a sports book. Yes, we get it. We have a sports book. Congratulations. Circa has a sports book. We're well aware. Yes.
I think they promote that more to locals than anything.
100%, right?
Make sure you guys come to the sports book. Oh man!
You make your money. We get it.
Oh man, I appreciate you joining me though, man. I thank you for taking the time out, and of course we're gonna have to collaborate. You guys listening to Heavy D, you guys go support him. Check him out. His TikTok is booming. Instagram. Check out his YouTube. He has great videos. I'm showing all his contests. This guy is a pro competitive eater. He's serious. Great content creator out here in Las Vegas, baby. Check him out. All his links are in the show notes, so check them out. Heavy D, you want to give some shots out or anything before we head out?
Yes, want to thank Vegas for always having me back. It's always good to have the local city. Appreciate you having me on. Always a pleasure meeting and connecting with fellow, hustlers out there. And let's go to Carolina. This is a blast. There's great food, and I just started March 1st on the road to Coney to go back to Nathan's Famous on the 4th of July on ESPN and rep Vegas. So we'll see how that goes.
Yes, man. You got our support. And, my door is open, man. You need anything, you have my contact. Just give me a call, okay?
Yeah, same goes to you, bro.
All right, man. Love you, Las Vegas. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I know you guys could have been anywhere, but you're here with us Friday. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And we'll see you guys next Friday. I love you. And Heavy D, I'll catch you up for Carolinas, baby. That's next for us.
Hey,
appreciate you guys.
Go,